And I want to start by asking Sabu-san this. I loved all three of the main characters, but I especially loved Hiroshi and Masako's story. It's a really original look at an enka singer, a wannabe global sensation enka singer. And I wonder where in the world this idea came from. Is that what you started with?
あまりそうですね。僕結構バンドもやってましたし、音楽も好きなんですけど、演歌歌手が主人公になるっていうのはあまり今まで日本映画でなかったなと思うのと、あとすごく追っかけのおばさんたちがたくさんいるっていう設定がヤクザがたくさん出るとかね、いっぱいあったんですけど、おばちゃんがいっぱいいるっていうのはあまりかつてなかったんで。
So I was in a band before and I really like music, so that was one element. But I also really, in Japanese cinema, I hadn't seen a movie centered on an enka singer really. And on top of that, because there's a lot of middle-aged Japanese female fans, I thought having a lot of those women would be really interesting. More common is having lots of yakuza, but I thought it'd be cool to have lots of middle-aged Japanese women fans.
And the character of Hiroshi, were you inspired by someone? I mean, you've perfectly cast Sho Aoyagi. You worked with him in Mr. Long, which I hope you'll all stay around to see. Did you write the role for him, or did he come later?
そうですね。彼からイメージして書きました。で、スター気取りというか、地方にたくさんそういう人がいたりするので。そういう設定も面白いかなと思ってました。
Yes, I did write the part specifically for him. And I think in the suburbs and the regional areas, there's a lot of people who think they're a big star. And so I thought there was humor to be mined from that aspect.
And this wonderful character of Masako, played by Mariko Tsutsui, many of you have seen Harmonium, the Koji Fukada film that played at Cannes a few years ago. And she played the mother in that film. She's really, really great here. Did you find her easily? Did you think of her right away? Did you write the role for her?
いや、違います。最初はもっとミザリー的なね、設定という感じなんで、ちょっとそういうぽっちゃりした感じのイメージで脚本を書いてました。でも彼女はすごく狂気的な部分とある意味ちょっと可愛かったりもするんで、そっちの方がいいかなと思って彼女はキャスティングしました。
So actually, this had a similar setting to kind of Misery, and so initially I was thinking of an actress who would be a bit chubbier, but Mariko has this quality that's a bit crazy but also kind of cute that I thought would work better for the role. So then I decided to cast her.
So that it didn't turn into a horror film, right? You didn't want to make a horror film.
そうですね。すごい結構いけたんですけど、その中間を目指しました。
I was drawn by this horror aspect. I kind of had to think about it, but I decided to go kind of strike this middle in between zone.
最終的にはすごくある意味愛の話なんで、行き過ぎた愛というか、ファンとスターとか、そのファンの怖さだったりとか。その辺もなんか描けたらなと思ってました。
But in the end, it's the story. It's a love story, a love that goes a little too far, but also at the same time there is a scariness of a fan that's kind of too passionate. So I was trying to incorporate those things.
I think every culture has a fan psychology that can veer into the really dangerous, but especially in Japan. And you probably all noticed LDH written prominently several times in the film. The three main male stars are all members of LDH, which is a theater troupe that also dances and sings and now has moved into films. And Sabu-san himself is also working closely now with LDH. So I wonder, because of your relationship with LDH, were you worried about writing this darkly cynical view of fandom with handsome younger men.
Mm. そんなことないです。全然あんまり関係ないですけど、そうですね。でもそういうので書き込みがあって、自分たちのことだっていうふうにファンは思ってたりするみたいで、ちょっとドキドキしてるみたいですけど、ファンの皆さんは。
So I didn't have that in mind, but apparently in comments from fans, some of them are a little nervous because they think they're being portrayed in this film.
実際あれです。日本での公開で東京でやった後、福岡とか回ったんですけど、同じ便にファンが乗ってましたからね、ずっと。
And I actually had multiple screenings of this film in Japan, in Tokyo, Fukuoka, different places. And in reality, there were fans on every flight as we were touring with this film.
You're going to hear more about LDH, believe me. Would anyone in the audience like to ask questions? We'd like to open it up to the floor. Yes? Please wait for the microphone, Lee. Okay.
It's not really a question, but the relationship between Masato and Hiroshi reminded me of Misery by Stephen King.
Yes.
Thank you, Sabu-san. Wonderful movie. But it seemed like a lot of the movie used some sort of special sounds. The sounds were really important in the movie, from the squeaking wheelchair to the cutting of the fruit to many other things. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you did that and what you were trying to do?
僕はもともと一作目の「弾丸ランナー」という作品からそうですけど、その効果音、あんま音楽とかじゃなくて効果音、実際にある環境音とかでストーリーを運んでいくっていう方法が一番ベストだと考えています。音楽は最終手段として考えてるんで、そういう意味で脚本の段階からここはこういう音が鳴るっていうのは全部毎回そうですけど考えながら脚本は書いてます。
So even as with my first film, which is Dangan Runner, sound effects have always been really important to me, and I like to make movies using sound effects or sound noise from the environment. I think that's the best way to do it. I think music is kind of a last resort. And so even as I'm writing the script, I'm noting which parts have what kinds of sounds. And so that's an important part of the process.
だから脚本でもう字で日本語で擬音っていうのがあるんですけど、そのガとかザとかっていうのを全部俺脚本に書いてます。
And so in Japanese, I'm writing the actual, there's an expression, Japanese expression of noise, like giga, like there's a way that the Japanese use
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, but it's in a way that's distinct to Japanese. And so that's all in the script.
Yes, here and then in the middle.
Yes, hi. This is my first Sabu film, and I'm just completely just overwhelmed. So, truly enjoyed the film. The unlikely intersection of these very odd characters, was this triggered by your own life experiences or simply a figment of your wild imagination? Thank you.
そうでもね、両方ありますね、結構。両方は自分で実際見た異常なファンであったり、そういうあとそれプラス想像で結構その脚本の中で自分が普段できないことをやってしまうっていうのはすごい楽しいんですよね。今日は2人ぶっ殺したとか、なんかそういうやってはいけないことをやる脚本の中で書くのは結構楽しいです。
So it's a combination of things I've seen and like a crazy fan, the crazy fandom, as well as comes from my imagination. But I really enjoy writing things into a script that I can't do in real life. Like I killed 2 people, you know, by writing that. I really enjoy writing into my movies things I'm not allowed to do in my
She
life.
flies out of the front windshield.
だから最初に雅子がガラス突き破ってぶっ飛んだところとかもう最高に気分が良かったっていうか
So when I wrote that scene of Masako going through the windshield, I felt really good.
But I think one of the things we really wonder, because all of your scripts, all 18 of your feature films have been driven by chance, circumstance, and fate. Do you believe that you have the freedom to make your own fate, or do you believe that everything is already...
僕はそうですね定まってるとは思います。でもそれを掴むのに日々どうなんていうんですかね考えるって行動するかっていうことでそこに向かえるかなと思ってます。ややこしいんですけど、例えば俺新作作るときにおぼろげに映像が浮かんでるんです。でそれに向かってそれをこう探していく作業になっていくんですけどいつもだからすごくねちょっとこれはスピリチュアル的な感じなんですけどだからその情報が常にあちこちにあるんですよ。それをどう拾っていくかがポイントになってます。だからはい難しいですけど。
So I do think fate is kind of decided, but I think in the day-to-day, it's a journey of how to seize the different things. When I'm working on a new project, there's kind of an image I'm seeing. And so the process of making it is kind of finding what that is. So it almost feels kind of spiritual. But I think the information is all there, and it's just kind of figuring out how to find it.
あんま話しないですけど、今また脚本書いたりしてる最中なんで言いますけど、大体ね、この辺にあります、イメージは。
And so right now I'm writing a new script, but what I see is like right here.
右斜め上。
And right northeast direction.
多分ね、不思議な感じなんです。映像はこの辺です。
Yeah, it's a little, mystical, but the vision is like here.
字を考えるときはこっちですね。
When I'm thinking of words, letters, it's on this side.
本当の話。
This is for real.
多分皆さんも何かを想像するとき多分この辺ですよきっと。
I bet all of you, when you're actually imagining something, it's probably around here, on your right side, above your head.
Yes, in the middle here.
Hi, thank you for such an awesome film. This was also my first Sabu film, and I really enjoyed it. I kind of felt like there was a recurring theme of reunion in all 3 storyline, because in the end there's some sort of a spiritual reunion that happens. But for the Tetsuo storyline, we kind of look away from his struggles until the very end, and I was wondering if you had a deeper message that you want to tell with that subplot specifically.
Which one? Sorry, just
That's
it. Looking away?
Yeah, because well, I also like the cars all kind of the society almost kind of looks away from the struggles, but in the end, we also kind of move away from that subplot for kind of majority of the film until the very end, where we could sort of see a spiritual reunion of the family coming together. So I was wondering if there was a deeper message or a specific message that you want to tell with that storyline.
そうですね。なんかいいこと言おうと思うんですけど。
I want to say something good, but
でもお客さんの方が俺よりいいこと 想像してくれてると思うんで
I think you're imagining, you're seeing something better than what I can say. So
そっちに任せた方がいいかな
I feel like I should leave it to you.
Sean.
I don't think it is working. I love the music, the jazz score, really great. The car, why such a cool car? But my main question is, why is it called Jam?
なんかそうですね、トラフィックジャムだったりいろんなジャムがあると思うんですけど、そういうとにかくごちゃ混ぜな感じというか、そういうイメージで最初は考えました。
I had this kind of image of everything just kind of pushed, mashed together, scrambled together. And so that was what it started with. And so that's kind of where the jam came from.
で、音楽もやっぱりジャム的なね、ジャムセッション的な感じで、ちょっとジャズっぽくやってみました。
From the music aspect as well, kind of like with jazz, having like a jam session, that was kind of part of it as well.
And it's interesting you bring up the car. Tell us more about Tetsu's car. I think they would be interested in that.
彼の車そうですね、なんかそのビジュアル的にこだわりたかったので、特に日本の昔の車はすごく味があってかっこよかったり、あとシートも赤かったりするんで、あの車を中古で買いました。制作費でね、安いですけど。
That was a really important visual for me, and I think a lot of old Japanese cars have a really cool feel to it that I think looks great. So we bought that used, and it came out of the production budget.
And are we going to see that car again?
そうですね、あれ一回割れちゃったんですけど、また直してジャム2で登場します。
And so the windshield's broken, but in Jam 2, that car will make another appearance.
There you heard it here, folks. There's going to be a sequel. We have, yeah, go ahead. Down here in the second row.
Hi. Thanks for the great movie. I really enjoyed, and the music good too. I have one question regarding to the storyline when the gangsters weave into the whole movie. Have you considered other outcome of Tetsuo, who obviously survived the gangs and the knives at the end? Is that something you want the character carry, and also other possibly outcomes of this character?
Of Tetsu?
Tetsuo.
Tetsu.
So you're asking about the possible outcomes of his story strand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm thinking of them. Jam 2.
You'll have to come back for Jam 2. We have time for, oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
いや、つい最近書き終わったところで、もしかしたらそのテレビドラマ化になる可能性はちょっとありますけど、でもなんとか2時間にまとめたバージョンも作りたいとは思ってます。
I recently finished the script for Jam 2, and there's a possibility that it would become a TV series, but if possible, I'd really like to make it as a 2-hour movie.
Or maybe both. We have time for one more question from the audience. Yes.
Thank you again for a great movie. There is a great sense of space as well. Can you talk a little bit about the area where it was filmed? It seems like these characters seem to always intersect. They meet each other. There is a sense of a closed area where they all meet.
ロケーションはこれ北九州っていう日本のすごい南のところです。すごいヤクザの多いところ、町ですね。そこで撮影しました。
So we filmed in Kitakyushu, which is in the southern region of Japan, and it's known for having a lot of yakuza.
すごく味のある場所でその山があったり、すぐ近くに海があったり、あと電車だったり工場地帯だったり、その撮影場所としてはすごくいい地域なんで、はい。
And it's a really great area for filming because there's the mountain, there's the sea, there's the factory, so it really has a really distinct flavor in the way it looks.
でフィルムコミッションがすごく日本でも有名な北九州のフィルムコミッションはすごくいいって言われてて、で実際にこういうホールで市民ホールをロケ場所で探した時に結構広いところだったんですけど、これ昼間でもそちらが声かけたらおばちゃん300人は呼べるって言うからそこでやりました。で実際に当日撮影来た時は200人しかいなかったけど。
So also the Keita Kyushu Film Commission is really well known in Japan, and they're very supportive. And when we were doing the concert scene, and we asked someone at the Civic Hall to film, they said they could definitely get us 300 middle-aged Japanese women. But when we arrived on set, there were actually only 200.
実際大変だったんです。あちこちこう人埋めてごまかさなきゃいけなくて。
And so it was actually very difficult because we would have to make that work, and so it involved a lot of moving the people around.